If you're dreaming of exploring Iceland's unbelievable waterfalls, volcanic landscapes, and geothermal hot springs, there's a ton to know before you go. In this video, we're sharing everything you need to know on how to plan the perfect Icelandic trip. So sit back, hit that like button, and we'll share everything you need to know when planning a trip to Iceland.
The time of year that you visit Iceland is going to greatly shape your experience, with the best time to visit really coming down to what kind of trip you want to have. The summer season, from June to August, is peak travel season, with nearly 24 hours of daylight, which is perfect for road trips and for hiking. The weather is mild and usually hovers between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit, but because of this, it's also the busiest and priciest time to travel. For perspective, we visited in the middle of July and still were able to get some incredible attractions almost entirely to ourselves. So don't let the fear of crowds deter you from a summer trip. If you're curious what our itinerary was, we recently released a full 1-week Iceland guide to show our exact route and everything we did. I felt Courtney did a very efficient job planning the route to maximize time and visit all the best sites, so be sure to subscribe and check that video out as well. Anyways, we had an amazing summer week here, but the around-the-clock daylight can definitely throw you off if you're not prepared for it. So if you're visiting during these summer months, definitely plan to bring an eye mask for sleeping, and maybe even check with your hotel to see if they have blackout curtains if you're cruising for a good summer snoozing.
The winter season is from November to March, and it's ideal if you're trying to see the northern lights. With average temperatures around 20 to 35 degrees, and with only 4 to 6 hours of daylight, you'll find fewer crowds and lower prices. Just be ready for icy roads and unpredictable weather. The shoulder seasons for Iceland are April, May, September, and October. During these months, you'll get decent weather, fewer travelers, and still a possible chance to see the northern lights. Plus, prices are going to be more budget-friendly. Oh, and if you're looking for a more lively road trip, be on the lookout for festivals like Iceland Airwaves in November if you're a music lover, or the summer solstice if you want to see a unique cultural vibe. We found this chart from Epic Iceland to be pretty helpful for managing our expectations on what attractions would be possible during different times of the year. So use this as a reference for when it might be the perfect time for your visit.
Now let's talk about getting around. Iceland is all about road trips, and renting a car gives you maximum freedom to explore at your own pace. Most roads are paved in similar style to the US, but gravel roads are common if you're venturing off the beaten path, especially in rural areas, so be sure to plan ahead. Also, if you can't drive a stick, be sure to specify an automatic rental car, as manual transmissions are very common here. If you're reserving your car ahead of time, which we highly recommend by the way, you can usually filter for this. Oh, and Iceland's wind can be wild, with gusts reaching up to 200 miles per hour. So when you're opening your car door in Iceland, be sure to crack the window first to check the wind direction. Then park facing the opposite way to avoid your door flying off when you open it. There's a good chance your rental agency will go over this procedure with you, and truthfully, most cars have a bunch of stickers on the interior doors as a reminder, but this is always a best practice. Anyways, because of this and a number of other conditions, you'll probably want to consider getting rental insurance for your car. You'll also want to make sure you take a quick video of your car before you drive off to document any existing damage so you're not footing the bill for some knucklehead before you. Also, make sure that you have your home country's driver's license with you when you go to pick up the car. Being from the US, we actually didn't need an international driver's permit to rent a car in Iceland, but you might want to double check the rules if you're visiting from a different country. From what we've heard, it seems like if your driver's license is not written in the Latin alphabet, for instance languages like Japanese or Arabic, you might need an international driver's permit. When you show up at the rental agency, you'll probably also need to put down a credit card with a high limit for a deposit when you book. And it's actually very important that the actual card itself is in the main driver's name. For example, since I was our main driver, the credit card needed to be in my name. We had the option to add Courtney to our rental agreement as a second driver, but for that $30, we decided I'd just be the road warrior. So she got to be the passenger princess for the whole trip. Sounds kind of nice. Anyways, all these rules can vary depending on what company you're booking from, so make sure you read the fine print and you'll be prepared. And really quick, we'd like to thank Level 8 for sponsoring today's video. We've been using Level 8's luggage to pack for some recent trips and have been really impressed with the quality. If you don't know, Level 8 is famous for making some of the most innovative suitcases out there. They're probably best known for their iconic wide handle luggage, which makes pushing the suitcase extra smooth and packing even more efficient, as the handle's unique design prevents losing any space to the telescoping bars. And while we hear those cases are terrific, we know their aluminum ones are as well, like their Gibraltar here. We can't get over how pretty the suitcase is and what a showstopper it is on the road. And traveling with Level 8 is a breeze. The wheels are buttery smooth, and the handle, no wiggle, no wobble, just an incredibly well-built suitcase. Level 8 really has thought of everything in the design of this suitcase. It has 2 sturdy TSA-approved locks, give a really satisfying chunk every time you open them, and the interior makes staying organized on the road a breeze. We love the mesh dividers and built-in zipper storage, as they make it so easy to maximize space, which is so important when you're traveling. We really love how much you can fit in these Level 8 cases. They have plenty of storage, and they just overall feel like they're made of really great and high quality materials. Plus, They're perfectly sized to fit airline requirements or in other common spaces, so they really are the perfect suitcase to travel with. And did I mention how good these bags look? They're just drop dead gorgeous, and they really do make me smile just about every time I pick them up. And with a lifetime warranty and being made of aerospace grade aluminum, something tells me we'll have many more adventures with this suitcase in the years to come. If you're considering getting a new suitcase or upgrading an old one, definitely consider Level 8, and be sure to use our promo code to get a great price. Huge thanks to Level 8 Luggage. Now let's jump back to the video.
As you drive, make sure you watch out for sheep and horses, as they roam freely around Iceland, especially in rural areas, and love crossing the road. Speed limits are usually 90 kilometers per hour, about 55 miles per hour, on paved roads outside towns. Speeding tickets are expensive in Iceland, and there are cameras everywhere, so don't test your luck and drive safe. Also, many bridges are single lane, so check for oncoming traffic and yield if someone's already crossing. For parking, some attractions require payment. We were able to book parking nearly everywhere in Iceland through the Easy Park app, which we'd highly recommend downloading before you visit. You also have the option to pay on-site at major spots. One important thing to note is most parking lots near key attractions have license plate readers that will recognize your car the moment you pull in. Even if you're just doing a quick UE, you'll need to pay the parking fee or risk getting a ticket when you return your rental car. So make sure you pay for every attraction you visit. And if you're visiting remote areas, keep an eye on your gas gauge. Many larger towns will have gas stations with convenience stores for snacks and bathrooms, which are helpful on the road. So be sure to fill up your tank when passing through to avoid getting stranded. Oh, and it's super important to pay attention when filling up, as gas pumps are green and diesel pumps are black. So double check you're using the right pump to avoid a costly mistake. We found cell service to be spotty in some areas, so make sure you download offline maps on Google Maps before you go. And bring a USB cord for CarPlay or Android Auto to ensure an easy ride. And on the subject of transportation, if you're looking for a fun way to explore Reykjavik, we saw tons of people enjoying these rental scooters, and we thought it was a great way to get around. So check these out if you're looking for a good scoot sesh.
Unlike many places in Europe, staying hydrated in Iceland is easy. The tap water here is glacial fresh and some of the purest in the world, so it's usually totally safe to drink water wherever you go. If you can, bring a reusable water bottle and top it off at taps, or if you're adventurous, glacial streams while you're out exploring. Big attractions like Gullfoss or this crazy to pronounce waterfall usually have clean and free bathrooms in the parking lots, but smaller attractions may have a fee to use them, so it's handy to keep a bit of change on hand. We found Google Maps to be pretty reliable when seeking out rest stops during our longer travel stretches, and most cafes and shops are also fine with you to use their bathrooms, provided you're buying something as well.
Speaking of change, let's talk money. Iceland uses the Icelandic krona and definitely has a reputation of being one of the pricier places to visit in Europe. Mid-range hotels and Airbnbs tend to cost around $150 to $200 a night, especially if you're booking during peak season. We booked pretty last minute, but if you can, try to book in advance to score the best deals. Meals at casual restaurants usually run about $20 to $30 per person, and activities like glacier hikes or a trip to the Blue Lagoon can range from $50 to $150. If you're looking to save a little, check out supermarkets like Bonus or Kronen, which are perfect for snacks or quick meals on the go. We felt like we were able to pack a whole lot into our trip without spending a fortune. We spent a total of 5 nights in Iceland and spent about $1,300 for the two of us. For perspective, we stopped at a grocery store earlier in our trip and ate homemade sandwiches for the good majority of our meals. So most of our money was spent on gas and accommodations. We actually released a complete Iceland food tour where we shared some of the iconic dishes you need to try in Iceland, and some great budget options as well. So make sure you're subscribed to see that. But even if Iceland is pretty expensive, the good news is that you can pay with a credit card pretty much everywhere, even for small things. And Apple Pay or Google Wallet work great too. We took out a bunch of cash in the beginning of our trip to be safe, but I wish we had taken out a little less since credit cards were so widely accepted. We only really needed some change for the occasional restroom stop.
When it comes to packing, think layers and waterproof everything. Icelandic weather is all over the place, so a waterproof rain jacket is a must, especially near waterfalls. It's also important to bring warm layers like fleece or puffer jackets that you can easily add or peel off as needed. Even in the summer months, it can still get pretty chilly, so pack a hat and gloves, especially if you're heading into the highlands. Besides layers, we also felt good walking shoes were absolutely essential, and while hiking boots might be ideal for rougher trails, we felt our trusty and dusty sneakers worked well for most popular spots. But still, it's important that they have good grip and good support. If you're planning to visit the Blue Lagoon, which we highly recommend, make sure you bring a swimsuit, and if you're planning for some longer hikes, bring a day pack, trekking poles, and probably a waterproof cover. Most of the attractions that we stopped at weren't long hikes, so we were usually only a few minutes walk from our car in case we forgot something. Honestly, a little portable travel cooler would have been really nice to keep our groceries cold during long stretches of car rides, but We made do with some plastic freezer bags and some ice from hotel ice machines. And again, don't forget reusable water bottles since they're easy to fill up at most attractions. Oh, and definitely bring an eye mask if you're visiting during the summer.
And here are just a few tips to make your trip even better. Make sure you plan your route in advance. The Ring Road is a beautiful 7 to 10 day loop around the island if you want to take in all of the amazing sights Iceland has to offer. We decided on a slightly smaller trip, and we spent a total of 6 days in Iceland exploring Reykjavik, the Golden Circle, and the South Coast. I felt it was the perfect amount of sightseeing without getting fatigued with too much driving. It might sound crazy, but you also might want to check to make sure volcanic eruptions don't affect your driving routes too much either. When we visited, a volcanic eruption had closed down a decent amount of roads surrounding the Blue Lagoon, which definitely affected our plans a bit. So it's helpful to be up to date on the weather and road conditions in any season. And if you can, definitely consider booking popular experiences like the Blue Lagoon, silver snorkeling, or guided tours ahead of time, as they can fill up fast. It's also nice to leave room in your schedule for the unexpected spots you'll find along the way. The Icelandic countryside is absolutely incredible, and you'll be surprised with how much you want to pull over to snap a few pics of the amazing sights. For perspective, we booked everything except the Blue Lagoon fairly last minute. When we were driving, we consistently checked on Google Maps to look for attractions we'd be passing by, and ended up with some pretty amazing pull-offs.
So that's a wrap on our ultimate Iceland travel guide. Whether you're chasing waterfalls, soaking in a geothermal pool, or hoping to spot the Northern Lights, Iceland's a place where you can see it all and that you'll never forget. If this guide helped you out, please help us out by giving us a like, subscribing to our channel, and let us know in the comments where you're most excited to head to in Iceland. We've got some great videos coming up next, so be sure you are subscribed so you can find out where we're headed next. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.